How did I sell this house in only 3 days for $60,000 over list price? And how did I sell this house in only 4 days for $80,000 over list price? How did I sell this house in only 3 days for $55,000 over list price? And how did I sell this house in only 3 days for $40,000 over list price? And how did I sell this house in Deer Park in only 3 days for $211,000 over list price? I can tell you one thing, it's definitely not luck. People are always asking me how I consistently get these kinds of results over and over again. This is Richard Freedkin, 40-year real estate expert with eXp Realty. Over my 40 years in real estate, I've developed many systems that deliver results just like this that are consistently better than just about any other realtor that you'll probably talk to. Why is that? Well, I'm extremely data-driven and use specific algorithms that I personally have created that determine the best price to list a home at. There's actually over 20 critical steps in data that I use to get results like these. But in my 5-part video series, I'm going to pull the curtain back and show you the secrets to some of the reasons why I get results like these when others don't. Now, my 5-part video series is going to be each part was going to be over the next couple of months. Today's series is on how to price a home correctly. Now, contrary to popular belief, the price that you list a home at is not the price you expect to sell it at. Now, I just want to give you a little bit more data and background. You've probably gotten one of my flyers in the mail recently that shows you some more of my recent history of sales, of listings. And you can tell these don't happen by mistake. I mean, look at my days to contract: 3 days, 3 days, 6 days, 3 days, 3 days, 3 days, 4 days, 0 days, 3 days. And look how much over list price that I get for my sales. And these are all recent listings. This isn't over like 10 years. This is just a, handful of months. But, we want to make sure that pricing a home is really an art and there's a science to it. But let me show you what's wrong with pricing a home, like how to price a home incorrectly. First of all, you want to price a home at a number that will generate the most amount of serious buyers and that will elicit a bidding war that will ultimately drive the price up significantly above its list price and higher than what other realtors would deliver. And again, you want to do that in a very short period of time. Now, you can see by my results, that's exactly what happens. First 3 days, we're under contract. 4 days, we're under contract. There's not a lot of time between the time it goes on the market and the time it sells. And I'll kind of get into that a little bit. But let me show you, what happens when realtors or homeowners price a home incorrectly. So these are listings in the Algonquin area, and these are recent. You can see July 15th. Now, this home is priced at $499,900. And I never recommend pricing a home at like $349 or $499 or $599 or $549. It's the worst thing you can do. It's like Walmart mentality. It's 1970s and 1980s mentality. Walmart will price a widget at $9.97 or $9.99. And it's because the mentality is it sounds cheaper than $10. But we're not selling widgets, we're selling homes. And the worst thing you could do is price a home like you're pricing a widget. And I'll get into some of the theory behind that and the reasons why it's the worst thing you can do. But let's take a look at some of these listings. And by the way, after I go through this video with you, every time you see a listing from now on, your brain is going to be going, oh man, that's wrong. It shouldn't be listed like that. And you'll get it real quick. The light bulb will go off real fast momentarily. But here's the listing, $499,900. It's been on the market 35 days. Now the listing date shows 7/15, but that's because they relisted it. It's only been at 7/15 for 16 days. But it's been 35 days on the market, which means there was a previous listing and they canceled it to make it look like it's newer. These are some of the games they play. But $499,900. Yeah, let's take a look at another one here. Let's go to listing number 2. Where's listing number 2 here? There we go. Okay, so here's listing number two. Again, it's priced at $499.9. It's been on the market only 7 days. It just went on the market July 24th. But 7 days is not 3 or 4, right? And it still hasn't sold. It doesn't say contingent here. It says active, so it hasn't sold. Now I've blacked out the address and some of the other pertinent information because, I don't want to embarrass any other agents out there. Um, but again, $499.9. Let's look at another one here. Let's go to number three. Here we go. 559, right? It's been on the market 115 days. By the way, these are random. I didn't like specifically choose these. I just looked at the ones that were like 549 and 559 and 599 and 699. And, I just pulled them up. I didn't like sit there and analyze them. But again, been on the market since May, June, July. Oh, yeah, it got relisted too. It's only been on the market 78 days under this listing, but then it was previously on the market for like another 30 days on another listing. And the original list price on this listing was 579, and they've already lowered it to 559. Again, 579. Where's these numbers coming up? 79. It's widget pricing. Terrible. So again, worst thing you could do. Let's go to a fourth. Let's go look at a fourth one here. Here we go. All right. So here, $699.9. You seeing a pattern here? $699, been on the market for 73 days. You're going to see like 95% of the listings that you see are going to be like this. And you have Zillow, I hate Zillow, but Zillow has some good metrics in them, some good data that I use when I'm doing a listing presentation. You have like 3 to 4 days, and then 50% of the viewers of your property drops 50%. So people aren't even looking at your listing anymore. It's already stale by then in this market that we've had the last 5 years. So it's critical that you get that house, as many people into that house to see it, to make offers on it as you can in those first handful of days. And there's a reason behind that, and I'll even go into some of that mentality as well. But let's take a look at some of the formulation as to why this is important. So let's say you've got a house that's worth 400,000. It may actually be worth a little bit more, but you should price it at 400. But what happens is that people will price their home at 399.9 because it sounds better. It looks cheaper than 400. Worst thing you could do, and here's why. So let's say people are searching in brackets. They're searching from 300 to 400, or 350 to 400, or 375 to 400. Well, if your listing's priced at 399.9, it's going to show up in those search results, right? Because they're bracketing it between 350 and 400, and you're at 399. So you're going to show up. But what if somebody is searching at 410 or 450 or 475? Your listing it's not there. It's in a black hole. It's in an abyss. Because if you would have priced it at 400, you would have captured everybody looking from not only 300 to 400, but also 400 to 500, or some of those other brackets in between. So by pricing your home at 399, you just lost 50% of your buyer pool. 50%. Does that just blow your mind? Now, keep in mind, the people searching from 300 to 400, your 399 or 400 price is right at the top of their limit. They may not have additional money to get into a bidding war, but that's okay. And I'll explain that in a minute. Now, if you price it at 400, well, everybody looking from 400 to 500 will also see it, and they might look at your house as a steal. But here's what's critical. First of all, by doing this, I've just doubled the number of buyers that are going to see your home online. Now, there's a zillion other factors that make them want to come and see it, make them want to put in an offer, and that's where my expertise comes in as well. But this part's critical, because if I can get you an extra 50% buyer pool over another agent, that's half the battle right there of getting everything else to work properly as well. But here's the key. You want to get people into that house and want to have them make an offer. And I don't care if that first offer that comes in is for $1. And here's the reason why. If you have a ton of people coming into a home, somebody's going to make an offer pretty quick if the home shows as good as it looked online or close to it, and it's priced somewhere in the range that it needs to be. You want to get that first offer in the door. I don't care if it's 24 hours. I don't care if it's 36 hours. You want it pretty close to within that day. And the reason for that is everybody else coming through the home over the next couple of days, if they're interested in the home, the first phone call from a buyer agent to the listing agent is, do you have any offers? If the listing agent can say yes, and I don't care if it's for $1 because we're not going to tell them how much it's for, but if the listing agent say yes, we have an offer, then the game on, right? The bidding war starts. Now that buyer agent's got to go back to their buyer and say, yeah, there's an offer. People are going to be fighting for this home. You're going to have to, increase your offer, schmaltz it up a bit, make it a little more juicy, right? I don't care if it's for $1. You got to get that first offer in right away. Now, again, those 400 to 500 people, those are the ones that are going to start bidding the price up even more. And even the ones 300 to 400, they'll probably go a little bit above their limit. They've set their limit at 400, but they've pre-qualified for more, maybe 425 or 430. But all of that's going to start getting a bidding war going, which is what's going to end up getting you a lot of offers. And here's the key: backup offers. You want to have a gazillion backup offers. Here's what I want to show you based on that. Take a look at this. These sales that I was talking about before. Take a look at this. Okay. 60 in 4 days. Now it was actually 3, but we didn't get the contract signed until Monday morning. But I listed on Thursday. My motto is listed on a Thursday, sold by Sunday. So in 3 days, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and by, Thursday to Friday is 1 day, Friday to Saturday is 2 days, Saturday to Sunday is 3 days. In those 3 days, we had 65 showings. We had 29 offers. 29 offers. That's unreal. Talk to any other realtor, they're going to say, we never get 29 offers, let alone 65 showings in 3 days. Well, out of those 29 offers, there's going to be like 5, 10, 15 that are really good. And out of those 5, 10, 15 that are really good, there's going to be like 3 or 4 that are just way up there. And, they're all going to know, by the way, if I'm your realtor, they're going to know that there's 28 other offers that are backup offers. So whoever we pick is going to know that they better not mess around with us, because if they do, we're going to our backup offers. With my listings, if something goes wrong, the buyer doesn't qualify for the mortgage at the last minute. I just had this happen where the husband co-signed for a friend's car loan a week before closing, and when they reran credit, they showed, he co-signed for the car loan a couple months before, but a week before closing, the lender reran the credit report and saw that there was a late payment on that car loan that the husband co-signed for a buddy of his, and now they didn't qualify, right? Happens. Stuff happens. But guess what? We had 30 other offers or 15 other offers. We went back to them, and some of them had already gone under contract on another home, but some of them haven't. And some of them still wanted this home. Not this one that's on the screen, but another one. And within like 30 minutes, I already had that house under contract with another buyer. And we didn't have to put the house back up on the market because we had backup. Now, if you price a home too high and you hope you get a good offer and you get one offer and something goes wrong with it, you got no backup. You got to put the house back up on the market, which is like the kiss of death, because every buyer that sees that home again, oh, it went back up on the market. There must be something wrong with it. It must have been something wrong with the inspections, right? And now you have no leverage. You're now in a bad position. With my system, you're in a winning position every time. Here, check this one out. $1 million home. This is $1 million home. We had 47 showings on $1 million home, right? 13 offers. All those other offers knew that if they tried to mess with us, we were going to our backup. So I create a lot of leverage for my home sellers using the system. And so, by the way, just pricing a home, it's just one of dozens and dozens of systems that I've created over 40 some years. I was a national speaker. I used to teach acquiring high-end luxury homes and how to sell them quickly and for the most amount of money. I've written several books on that. I've written several other books for sellers and buyers. I've got this system perfected. If you look at every listing I have, if I print out my list price to sales price ratio from the MLS, I probably have the highest list price to sales price ratio of any realtor out there. So basically, what you can see here is that pricing a home right, it's not pricing a home at market value. It's actually pricing it at a number with my data algorithm that's going to get the most amount of buyers interested in the home. And we're not talking about a fire sale price. We're talking about data that says this price for this home in this area with this number of bedrooms, with this number of bathrooms is going to attract the most amount of buyers that are going to want to make offers on your home. And that's how I get a bidding war going in a frenzy. It's why I get 40,000 over list price, 60,000 over list price, $200,000 over list price, 20,000, 11,000. But the key is it's gone in 3 days. Now, why is that also important? Well, if you got to keep your home on the market for 70 days, 100 days, well, guess what? You're now at the mercy of, you got to keep your house spotless, right? Because you don't know when the next showing request is going to come in. Now you got to pack up yourself, the dogs, the kids if you have them, and you got to go. You got to leave the house, right? Your whole life is disrupted for weeks and weeks and days. With my system, I'm going to disrupt your life for 3 days. You're going to get it under contract. You got backup offers coming out of every place you can imagine so that you're safe, your offer is safe, you're going to close on your house, you're going to make a lot more money on your house, everybody's happy. So look, if you're thinking at all about selling your home, you've been getting my postcards, probably for a long time, and I'm talking to my farming area here. But if you'd like me to do a market analysis for your home, and that tells you what your home is currently worth in the area that it's at, it's not necessarily the price I would list it at. The list price is not the price you want to list it at. It's the price that's going to generate the most amount of buyers to get you over market value quickly. If you're interested at all to find out how I can get you top dollar and sell your home quickly, just like what I've done on every other listing that you see here, give me a call. 847-922-8423. 847-922-8423. I appreciate you listening to this video one in my 5-part series. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you give me a call. I'd love to work with you and answer any questions that you have. Take care. I hope you've enjoyed your summer.